Home prices are subject to a multitude of factors, with interest rates obviously being one of those things that we all consider when we go to buy a home. So the dynamics between home prices and interest rates, they've long been subject of interest for economists and real estate professionals and, of course, home buyers. The relationship between interest rates and home prices exhibits something that we call price elasticity of demand. So when interest rates decrease, it often leads to an increase in the affordability of mortgages. Lower mortgage rates translate to lower monthly payments. So that makes homeownership much more accessible to a larger pool of potential buyers. The increased demand can stimulate competition among buyers, thereby driving up home prices upwards. The effect on interest rates on demand is influenced by several other factors. Let's consider economic conditions. The connection between home prices and interest rates operate within the broader context of the economy and the conditions that are prevailing at any given time. In a healthy economy with stable or growing incomes, reducing interest rates can positively impact home prices. Lower rates typically stimulate economic activity, of course, and increasing job opportunities and disposable income tends to stimulate the economy, and this can lead to a surge in demand for housing, also pushing prices higher. Another thing to consider is market sentiment and consumer confidence. Home prices are influenced by market sentiment and consumer confidence because decreasing interest rates can send positive signals to potential home buyers, instilling confidence in the stability and growth of the housing market. Think about it. With positive market sentiment, it's often associated with increased buyer demand, which can have an upward effect on home prices, which leads to supply and inventory. While interest rates may impact demand, the supply and inventory levels in the housing markets are equally crucial. If there's an oversupply of homes, even a decline in interest rates might not lead to a significant increase in prices. Conversely, if there's limited supply and low inventory, home prices may remain elevated despite declining interest rates. Considering the regional and local market factors is also a very good idea. It's really important to recognize that housing markets are highly localized. Factors like population growth, job prospects, local policies can have distinct impacts on home prices, independent of interest rates altogether. So regional markets may exhibit different price movements, even with identical interest rate changes. If you look at, let's say, Austin, Texas versus New York City, it's looked completely different as interest rates have gone more than double in the last year. While lower interest rates can stimulate demand and increase affordability, the impact on home prices can vary significantly due to economic conditions, market sentiment, supply and inventory levels, and regional market dynamics. A thorough consideration of these factors is essential to really get a good idea on the overall impact on home prices in a specific market under a specific set of circumstances. For the past few years, we've watched as housing prices have shot up in Utah around 30% year over year for a few years in a row. With higher interest rates, home prices came down 11% in January of 2023. As the summer months came on, home prices went positive again. Then rates spiked to 8% and prices came down about 4%. Since then, rates have come down to about 6.5% at the time of this video, which is early to mid-January of 2024. So the demand for housing in Utah slowed because of these higher rates, and that gave us about a 45 days on market average to sell a home. Still, 45 days is not a super long time to get a home sold. The average days on market was closer to 90 days in the early 2000s. And because interest rates are going from 3 to 8%, and we didn't see more sellers than buyers in a meaningfully long-term, because the interest rate going from 3 to 8% didn't create more sellers than buyers in a meaningfully long-term way. It's just not hard to imagine how prices will react to lower rates by shooting up. If this news gives you anxiety because homes are already unaffordable, reach out to me to see if there's any wiggle room in there for you, because there might be. With higher rates, sellers have been much more willing to give buyers concessions to buy down their interest rate. So let's use those higher rates to your advantage. Besides that, I always love hearing from you, and I'm so grateful to be your local economist.